My name is Nafis Sadik. I'm presently the United Nations Secretary General Special Envoy for HIV and AIDS in Asia and the Pacific. I'm a physician by background, and I did clinical practice, then I served in the Planning Commission as the head of the health section. And after that, I moved to the Family Planning Program and eventually became the Director General of the Family Planning Council in Pakistan. In 1971, I joined the United Nations Population Fund, where I started as a director and then eventually became the Executive Director of the UN Population Fund in 1987. I was the first woman ever to head a United Nations independent organization, and it was a great honor for me as a Pakistani and an Asian to have that distinction. To get women all over the world, but particularly in Asia, and then in Asia, particularly in Pakistan, to be able to have options in life, to make decisions about their own life. Unless you have the entire population of a country working towards progress and development, countries won't progress. I mean, we are only using half the brains of our country if the women are left out. So I feel very strongly that you measure the progress of nations by the level of education in general, but particularly by the level of education of their girls. And the opportunities that women and girls have in that society is a very good index of development. I've had many mentors. Of course, the first and the most important were my parents, especially my father, because at the time when I was growing up, girls actually in my family didn't go to college and didn't have a profession. Mostly they got married, in their teens. But my father was a great believer in education for both girls and boys. And I became then, because of his support and my parents' support, my main interest is in women's health and promoting women's empowerment, gender equality, and women's rights, which I consider essential to for women to achieve full access to health services and to be able to utilize those services, especially in the area of sexual and reproductive health, protect themselves from unwanted pregnancy, violence, and HIV and AIDS, which is increasing in women in the last several years in Asia. My message to Pakistanis here and to Pakistanis in Pakistan is that this is an opportunity to give back to our country and to help in the maximum way possible, and be sure that your money is going to get to the right place, to people. We want it to be community-directed, community-owned, everything that we do. So in a sense, we'll have to spend some time in whichever community we work in, wherever the schools or the health centers are, to make sure that the community knows that this is a service to them which they own and they should direct, not charity from, it's not like they don't deserve it, or it's not somebody giving them something. It's their right to have those services, and they should then cherish them and run them in the best possible way.